live from New York. It's a show that is back 3 days after our vacation. We are here.
You know what? You look awful tanned and rested,
buddy.
For a
we
guy.
had vacation.
Not me. Mine's in about a week and a half. I was working. I was out there working.
This is like a rare baseball card. It's just great to see you.
You know what?
It's amazing.
It is. We have done a lot of shows.
Yeah.
I would venture that over the last 8.5 years on sports TV, nobody has a better attendance than me. Nobody.
I know.
Wow.
I wish I could say the same thing about the audience in those early days. You were there.
Brew, he's saying,
Not so
Brew,
much.
you were a part of that.
No, Brew, no.
I
Once
come in
Brew
every
came, the
once
thing
in a
took
while.
off.
I came in every once in a while.
First
those
hour,
days.
first things first. We start at the end in LA. Magic take the lead in the fourth. Lakers have 7 seconds left after a timeout. Final play goes to Luca, who pump fakes it and then gives it to LeBron. I was like, what am I supposed to do with it? Shoots a turnaround three-pointer that misses. Are you surprised Luca and LeBron botched this? Or maybe they
LeBron didn't botch it.
No,
LeBron
that's true.
just caught it and threw up a desperation. It actually was a decent shot by him, a turnaround three with two guys on it.
Yeah.
Luka botched it, and yes, I'm surprised because Luka's been in bigger moments than this and hasn't had any issue. They called a play for him. They executed the play. They got him the open look right there, a shot obviously he can hit, and he just froze.
Yeah.
He punted. Now, I don't think he's lying. I do think, he obviously can shoot the ball from that distance. He said he was kind of far out, but that's because he just wasn't in rhythm. No matter where you're at on the court, you got to feel the rhythm. You got to kind of feet set, whatever. And he wasn't set. Now, that's not an excuse because it's his job. He knew the play.
Right.
He knew I was going to get it behind the three-point line, be ready to shoot it, be set, and he just wasn't ready. And so, I also got to say this. I don't think LeBron threw him under the bus. Some people are saying LeBron threw him under the bus. LeBron said exactly what happened. And Luca said himself, it's on me.
Yeah.
I don't think that was insulting. I don't think he was criticizing Luca. I think he told it like it was. Now, I'll say this, Nick, for Luke. It's been a tough week for Luke.
Yeah.
Now, and people may feel like we've been critical of him. I've said,
Mostly
I think
you.
now it's on the board. He
you.
might not win a ring. I think
Yeah.
that's on the board.
Yeah.
Chris Paul said, I'm taking SGA over Luca and all that stuff. But here's the deal. The honeymoon's over. Luca, and maybe people would say that when he left Dallas, that was the case because that obviously rocked his world. But when you enter the NBA as a top player, your first phase is establish yourself as either a star or a superstar, okay? He established himself as a superstar. Then you get the bag, you get that max deal and all that. Nobody's caring about winning early. Cooper Flagg's playing great. Nobody cares that they're losing every game. He puts up huge numbers in. Because LeBron missed the playoffs first 2 years. Nobody cares. Your first job as a young star, establish that you are a star in this league. Now he's got the bag. He's been, all NBA and all that stuff. Now he's at the phase where, okay, it's about winning. Are you going to win? Because that's what separates the immortals from the other all-time great players, right? Do you win? And so now, look, we're going to give Luka love for his numbers. We all are going to acknowledge he's a great individual player. He may win an MVP or more than that, whatever. But until he wins a ring, he's going to be over-scrutinized and over-criticized, and people are going to nitpick at his game, every little bit of his game that might be holding him back from winning. It happened to LeBron. It's happened to James Harden. It happened to Allen Iverson, Ewing, Jordan, whoever. That's what Jordan, they said, he could score, but he doesn't win and all that. So that's the phase Luka's at, and it's tough. And then on top of that, Nick, he's a Laker. Yeah. So now with the Lakers, you got to win it. So, I said it when LeBron went there. You better win a championship because all of them except Elgin Baylor won a championship with the Lakers.
All right, so let me respond to that and then get to the end of the play. Mm-hmm. So I agree with all that. I also think it is important to remind the audience that for another few days, he's 26. Most of those guys that we talked about, the legends, did not win, had not won
He came in earlier, though.
He didn't come in earlier than Bron.
No, but Bron took Bron a long time. Ninth year. For LeBron, that was a long time.
No, correct. And then he ended up winning a bunch, is my point. Jordan obviously came in older, but didn't win until he's 27. Luca, up until this season, I would argue, has been at or ahead of schedule. As far as making a finals, making another deep playoff run. When you compare him to other guys that we think could be legendary players, he was not lacking in the winning. He made a finals younger than Giannis, younger than Joker, and neither Giannis nor Joker won their championship at 26. So it is really this moment this year after the trade where the screws could tighten a bit. And I don't know if that's what's getting to him, but certainly since the game, prior to his hamstring injury, he was 33-8-9, 33-8-9 on the season on 48%. And in the 5 games since that hamstring injury, he's 24-6-8 on 38%. So he hasn't been quite as good, and he hasn't been himself. Luka Dončić does not mind taking super deep threes.
No.
Some of the most famous Luka Dončić playoff moments are super deep threes. His first truly awesome playoff moment was a three. I should have had him pull the video. A game winner against the Clippers from that exact spot on the court. And honestly, I don't remember. It might have actually literally been that exact spot on the court because I think that game was in LA back when they played at Staples. And so it was odd to see him hesitate when the play was drawn, when they got exactly what the play was drawn up to do. Credit to JJ Redick for getting exactly what he hoped to get. We're not showing the action. All 4 Lakers start in the backcourt. And it's a play I think they stole from the Warriors because the Warriors, if you remember, on Christmas against the Lakers a couple years ago, ran this to get Steph a game-tying 3 with 6 seconds left in a game that I think LeBron then went down and hit the game winner. And so it was bizarre. And as far as Wild's, LeBron's answer, I don't 100% agree with Brew. I do not think he was trying to throw Luka under the bus, but I think he was being honest in his surprise in a way that Bron, in my history watching him do press conferences, he almost always protects his teammates, and it might be a sign of respect that Luka is the best player on this team now and an all-time great himself. He doesn't need protecting. You know what I mean? He is of my, and
This
so.
is where I landed.
And
what do you think he said that was critical?
Maybe he's out of rhythm a little bit. Hey, it happens. I had a chance for it. You've seen him sort of circle the wagons on guys.
I guess my point is
Anthony
this.
Davis misses a shot.
I think that if that was Austin, if that exact, let's say Luka didn't play and that exact play happened with Austin, I think LeBron lies and says, I screwed that up.
Oh, really?
No.
I don't think he lies. I don't think he goes that far.
Well, okay, so maybe that's a bridge too far. But my point is, I think, and Austin's maybe not the right example. I just have seen LeBron a lot. Well, Bron is for the other. I have seen LeBron a lot, I think, when a teammate, not on the court with his reaction, but in the media, if a teammate screws up, him find a way to kind of shift that. He was very honest about what happened here, and that was, I was surprised as you guys were that Luka didn't take that shot.
I had the ball.
Yeah.
All right, let's zoom out a little bit. Lakers go 4-4 on this homestand that started on February 5th. So LeBron fairly was asked about the last 3 weeks they've been at home, and they went 4-4. This is a new version of LeBron. It reminded me really quick, Brew, before you go, when he was asked about Keontae George. He's like, man, I don't know.
I'm watching golf.
I'm watching YouTube.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be as locked in as I had previously seen.
Well, he said what, a year ago, Brew? Everything's extra credit at this point.
No, yeah.
And that he feels, not starting this argument here, he feels I'm the greatest player of all time. I have all the records, and now everything I'm doing is just because I enjoy playing ball, and I think some of his answers are like
there was
that.
a little bit of and you see Sean McVay do this. It's like, hey, do you want me to go through the exact play and where the ball went from 3 weeks ago in the second quarter? Because I can do it. But now he's like, I don't know. Who did they play? The Sixers?
Right, he got a photographic memory.
Was it too soon for the Lakers to hit the panic button?
No. And I hesitate to say panic because I just don't think that they're championship caliber. So it's not like, oh my gosh, they're waking up today saying we're not a championship team. I think they know it. And I think LeBron knows it.
Yes.
And I think that's part of this whole thing too. But look, we know the two problems. They can't play defense, and their big three don't fit. It's as simple as that. They don't fit together. All right, LeBron, Luca, and Austin Reeves. Last night was a case in point. All right, I've said it's my turn, your turn offense. Now, all three of those guys are unselfish. So they racking up assists. The ball moves a little bit with each one of them when they have it. But last night, LeBron had 10 points in the first quarter. Austin Reeves had 0. In the third quarter, Austin Reeves had 10 points. LeBron had 2. Like, it's one or the other or something like that. And it's not because they're selfish, and LeBron has gotten off the ball. But neither of them, the three, can be their best off the ball. That's the issue. Like, so when Luca might as well not even be on the court when somebody else has the ball. Because all he does is go over and stand and watch. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. LeBron has gotten better off the ball, but he's spotting up a lot for three. He's not at his best doing that. And Reeves is,
and it's not
okay.
helping that LeBron's having his worst three-point shooting year in forever. Like,
I mean, look, honestly, and we got some graphics. When LeBron and Luca, their best two players, I'm going to say LeBron's second best, they don't fit together. They got the worst point differential on the team. All right, minus 82. And there are numbers that show when Luca and Reeves play together, they're great. It's like plus 18 net rating. When LeBron plays by himself without those two, it's plus 9. All right, so the bottom line is I think there's two options for them to try to help win. And I'm going to get to I know you know one of them. The first one, I'm going to say this. LeBron could try to play differently.
Oh, okay.
In that, I think they should use the pick and roll with LeBron and Luca. And LeBron can either pop or roll to the rim. Like, I think he could have to play a little more like a big with Luca. All right, that's one thing. But beyond that, one of those three needs to go to bench. It's not going to be Luca.
Okay, so who is it?
Austin. You could say him but you want to keep him. Does that rub him the wrong way? LeBron obviously has the stature where you wouldn't want to see that, but because him by himself is good, and those two together is good, Luca and Austin, LeBron might be the answer, but you got to sit down. And I'm just out of respect, JJ, sit down with him and say, look, are you willing to do this? Or it could be Austin, but I think one of them has to come up.
Listen, I think if this were 2K, the best basketball answer to solving the problem you're describing is Luca and AR play together and LeBron runs the show by himself. You know what I mean? That you segment it like that. And the easiest way to do that is to put LeBron in the Manu role. Manu's a Hall of Famer. Like, that's the...
Didn't we do this with Russ just like 2 years ago? Like, Russ doesn't fit. Have Russ go to the bench. He's too big of a superstar.
But here's why I actually think that is whistling through the graveyard to a degree. I don't really care who starts if we're talking about a team winning playoff games, it's about who's on the court at the end of games. And what we're saying is their three best players don't make sense together on the court at the end of games. So, because even when, like, Manu was coming off the bench, he was playing crunch time.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was and so he was coming off the bench to provide a spark to the second unit, not because he didn't fit with Parker and Duncan. It is they are that stupid Pokemon meme of like the three different lizards, the like best to the smallest.
Talking about lizards?
No, I'm talking about Pokemon actually.
Pokemon.
But it's
50 years old.
Luca modeled his game after LeBron. He has said that. LeBron is now a lesser version of, you know what I mean? So it is, Luca is the apex version of this ball dominant scorer who can also pass.
Playmaker, yeah.
LeBron is at this point at 41, a slightly lesser version of that. And Austin's a slightly lesser version of that. It's just three of the same archetype. Yeah. And so it just doesn't fit well. And it's also, so last night was the first time I had said they were undefeated going into the fourth. They then lost. And so, and they were playing with fire throughout the year on that. They finally lost one of those games. But here's the other thing, KW. They're not as good as 34-23. And Hubs, if we just put up their...
They don't even have a positive point.
Well, so look at what their rankings are. So they have a pretty good offense. Not as good as it should be. They have a bad defense. They have a below average net rating. They have a below average point differential, which is around the same. Yet, they have the 10th best record. Which leads you to believe they are at what?
Oh, it's a little bit of an easy schedule?
No. I think
know they have a hard schedule.
They've been clutch. They've been, they have guys that are good down the stretch of games. My point is, I think that these 57 games, if you played them, all 57 100 times, they're probably closer to a 30-27 team than a 34, maybe a 29-28 team.
Yeah, so it's just,
which, I mean, that's what they have the statistical profile of a team right around 500. They have the record of a team competing for home court in the first round. And where I would panic, KW, is this. I just do not see how the Lakers are materially different in the ways they're bad this year, next year, aside from Giannis saying, you have to trade me to LA.
Well, look, if LeBron is not there,
yes,
and like we've shown it with Austin and Luca, they're good. And I just think it's a fit. It's a matter of fit. And LeBron, look, they've talked, and you've heard Rich Paul, his agent, say he wants to win championships. That was going into this season. And if the Lakers aren't really there, then maybe go somewhere else. Wherever LeBron goes, though, he's going to have to adjust because nobody's building their team around you anymore at 41 or 42 years old. And if you go to a team that's ready to win, like you're the missing piece, like Cleveland say, he would have to adjust.
Well, the Cleveland fit got so much harder once they traded for Harden.
Yeah.
You know what I like that because it'll be a lot of the same problems we're talking about right here. But my point is, next year for the Lakers, Brew, assuming Bron's gone, yes, now the fit might work better, but you're still lacking a team of defenders and a team of shooters. And now Giannis might be great enough that the Giannis and Luca combo can paper over that. But if it's not Giannis,
if they got Giannis, it's a whole different thing.
But without that, I just don't think that they are an off-season couple tweaks away from having a fleshed-out championship roster.
Drew, last word about LeBron coming off the bench. I think it would work if it started earlier in the year. Do you think winning Sixth Man of the Year is at all a carrot for him for his trophy case next year?
Next year?
Well, I don't think you can win Sixth Man of the Year this year.
I think, he couldn't win it this year. I don't think hadn't played enough games. Whether it's this year or next year, it just depends on LeBron's ego. Is he willing to accept it? Well, and if he's not, that's fine.
I think you can split the baby. Like, yes, I have a big ego. I'm the best. I did it 1 year and I became the best.
He could be Sixth Man of the Year next year if he wants.
All right, headed to Dallas. The Cowboys want to make Brandon Aubrey the highest paid kicker in the league. Calvin Watkins reporting a multi-year deal around $7.5 million per year. Aubrey's camp kicked that offer to the curb. How about $10 million? Cowboys trying to figure it out. Here's how good of a kicker he is. Field goal percentage is 5th best all time, 88%. 50-yard makes 35. It's 7 more than anyone else since 2023.
And I think that field goal percentage is unfair to him.
Because he hit some bombs.
Because he tried. They asked him to try.
Hit a 65-yarder.
And nobody else would try. So
you can only franchise tag one guy.
Yes.
They're talking about franchise tagging Pickens.
Yeah.
Who's more of an important offseason priority?
Listen, I think Brandon Aubrey is one of the most important weapons in the league. He's a restricted free agent, which means, it's a little complicated. Teams can then sign him away, but they'd have to give up a draft pick for it, not the same as the franchise tag.
And they can tender him.
If they tender him in the second round, then a team, if he signs him, then that team has to give up a second-round pick in addition to the contract. Here's the thing. If I'm a team like Denver, I would do that. And I would if I were Denver in particular, because I don't totally trust their offense, the thin air up there, the kick, you start the possession at the 35 after a touchback, are you 1 first down away? If we get 11 yards on the drive and we are, at 40, at our own 46, and so are we in field goal range in Denver? Close to it, 15 yards definitely. I would give Brandon Aubrey, if I were a contender such as Denver, the kicker version of the Mahomes deal. I'd give him a 10-year, $75 million contract. They say, and $50 million guaranteed. And guess what? I just don't have to have all my worries as a football team. Kicker is taken care of for a decade. I think he's that good, and I think
he's a great
I think the new kickoff rules have made a guy like that much more valuable. He's been in the league 3 years. He's been an All-Pro all 3 years. And if I'm Dallas, I would same thing. 10 years, $75 million. I know you want $10 million a year, but how about what we're offering you, but for a decade? And you'll be the highest paid kicker right now, and you'll still hold the record in 2050 as the highest paid kicker. I think he has that type of value. And to me, it is easier to find George Pickens than Brandon Aubrey.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would prioritize him.
I like that.
I would prioritize him, too.
Wow.
Yeah, no question. And I've said it, but now I'm going to show it. George Pickens is great. I think he's more talented than CeeDee Lamb, all right? He was better last year than CeeDee Lamb. But look at their off. If Dak Prescott is healthy, they're going to have a top offense, period, with or without George Pickens. So this graphic shows 21, 22, 23, 24, their offensive rankings with Dak. Now, and the number of games Dak played, even when he played only 12, they were fourth. They probably would have been first or second. Cooper Rush played all right. They would have been first or second maybe with Dak 17 games, 16 games. Last year, or 2024, obviously he was injured half the year. They dropped. This year, they still, even with George Pickens being great, they were only 7th offensively. And so I don't need, as great as he is, I don't need George Pickens. I think they have many other things, defense obviously, but this guy is a priority. You got to keep, somebody I think would be willing to pay him $10 million. I think a team would be willing to give him $10 million. Look, Baltimore would have been in the playoffs this year. I'm not saying they would have reached the Super Bowl, but they'd have been in the playoffs without Patrick Mahomes in it if they had a kicker like Brandon Aubrey.
And so let me just put it from a Chiefs fan perspective. If the Broncos, who are in the division, or the Bills, who are the perennial, competition, or the Ravens, who are a perennial competition, I would be way more bummed out as a Chiefs fan if either of any of those teams got Aubrey than if they got Pickens. And they all need wide receivers.
Yep.
They all really think they need wide receivers, and I would be more bothered by them getting Brandon Aubrey than I would by them getting George Pickens.
Fresh all-animal edition of Over Under. Bears, Bengals, and Lions. We're going to start in Chicago. Caleb and company won 11 games last year. This year, their schedule, literally the toughest in the league based on last year's win totals, and a lot of it is because of their own division. Everybody won. At home against the Bucs, Eagles, Jags, Jets, Patriots, Frisky Saints. And then in Buffalo, in Miami, Atlanta, Panthers, and in Seattle. Over-under set at 9.5, so not that much. We're doing a lot of 10.5s. Nick, do you want to start off with the
Sure.
Chicago Bears?
Yeah, I'll go over. I'm not as high on maybe the rest of the division as you guys might be. I'm not sure. In part because I saw what Green Bay looked like when they didn't have Micah.
That's true.
And I think Micah, Mahomes blew his ACL later than Micah. However, he had surgery the next day, and it's a very different type of player. Like, I could see that having more of an impact on Micah into next year than Patrick. So that concerns me. We're going to get to Detroit in a bit. So and Minnesota I think is a bit of a mess at the moment. So I don't think the division is quite as hard as it has been. And Chicago should only get better. They are a young team. It was the first year of Caleb and Ben Johnson, and we saw them get better over the course of the year. Final 10 games of the year, Caleb had 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And then in the playoffs, he had the 5 interceptions and also the spectacular plays. I would be very surprised if the Bears take a major step back next year, and going 9-8 would be a major step back. So yeah, I will go with the over.
I'm strong over.
Really?
Absolutely. Like, I agree with Nick. I see no reason to think they're going to fall backwards. Like, Caleb is going to keep getting better. As great as he was at times last year, he still has a lot of room for improvement. And I think that Ben Johnson, another year with him, another offseason, he's going to improve in that. I think he's going to be more accurate. You talked about throwing balls in the dirt, like stuff like that. All the little things he had to improve on, I think he will. And I think last year, he kind of had to prove some things to Ben Johnson.
Yep.
He did that, and now it seems like their relationship is great. So I just see improvement from him, the quarterback and the head coach together. And I get it. The division's tough. The schedule looks fairly tough. But I think they're a legitimate NFC championship contender. I'm not saying they're my pick or anything like that, but they are one of the top
This
teams.
is not. We don't do picks until predictions week. Don't worry. That being said, you can put this in pen. You can put this in a Sharpie.
What? Yeah,
Bears
put it
colors, orange. I'm looking for under, strong under. Here's why. I am a fan of the spectacular, but not too much. Bears had 6 game-winning scores in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or in overtime. They're pulling a lot of rabbits out of the hat. Yes. And I think just in general, an onside kick here, that's blown coverage there. He was spectacular, but I like 3. I don't like 6. It just feels like that's going to come down to a average margin of spectacular, not 6. 3.
Sure.
That was Washington the year before.
Yes. The Hail Mary, like maybe that doesn't go, and then your whole season goes differently. The other thing, and this is a little shot at Parkins in absentia, the takeaways on how great this Bears team on takeaways. Again, I think it's just a lot of how the ball bounces. This is your year to year. Once you led the league in takeaways. The 2026 Bears, we don't know what they're going to do. Vikings led it last year. Then they moved to 10th. The Steelers, I guess, were good at it. Maybe it was a J.J. Watt thing. Ravens led the league. Then they went down to 20th. The Giants led the league in takeaways. They went down to 28th. The Cowboys led the league in takeaways. Was that the Deron Bland year?
Yeah.
Where we're like, man, they're just feasting on these, and they're like making big plays. And I think it feels weird to say it's an artificial way to prop up your defense, but I think it's a little bit.
We know their defense wasn't that good.
Dependent.
So I agree with all that. I just think I also think the team offensively was not very good for the first 3 quarters of a lot of games last year and then turned it on late. And I just think they will be better. I think that Caleb and Ben Johnson year 2 is going to be that much better. I think the defense is where they're going to spend most of their offseason resources. So I just think that they have reason to believe they will have more talent on defense and be more of a well-oiled machine on offense, so they won't need the spectacular.
Do you think that J.J. McCarthy is going to – oh, Hobbs, you got lucky. I was about to start talking about completion percentage. Joe Burrow, I wish this was higher because I'm rooting for Joe Burrow. Over-under is set at 8.5 for the Bengals. Here are their non-division opponents, Brew. Chiefs, Jags, Titans, Saints, Bucks. And then on the road in Indy, Texans, Miami, Commanders, Falcons, Panthers. I don't mind that at all. 3rd easiest schedule. But their over-under is moderately low.
Yeah.
What do you got here?
I've got a strong, over.
Okay, not
Over.
strong though. You pulled
Just
that back.
over. When Joe Burrow plays, outside of his rookie year, when he only played, he missed 10 games, I think.
he got
They
his
won
knee.
4 games, right. Outside of that, for the most part, they win when he plays. I know he came back the one year and they were 5-5 with him. But last year they only won 6 games. But with him, he missed 9. They were 5-3. So this 8.5, like I definitely think they're going to win at least 9 games. And so just with that offense, which is going to be high power. Now again, he has to be healthy. If he gets hurt, obviously this is kaput. But if he's healthy, Nick, I see no way, and I'm not even predicting greatness for them as a team because the defense still will have question marks. But if he's healthy, I see no way they're not winning 9 games.
Yeah, I'll take the under.
Under.
And it's a little complex why. They're not a good football team. They have 3 players we like. 3.
Good.
Now that Hendrickson's
I like
going to be
Chase
gone.
Brown.
Okay,
still there?
3.5. We love their quarterback and their 2 wide receivers. They have a bad defense.
Yeah.
They have a mediocre at best offensive line. I don't think they have a good coaching staff. And we just keep treating the Bengals like they're someone they're not. Here are the teams who have won a playoff game more recently than Cincinnati. That's 15. Here are the teams that have played in a playoff game more recently than Cincinnati. That's 23. The teams that have missed the playoffs for each of the last 3 years, like Cincinnati, Arizona, the Colts, the Falcons, the Giants and the Jets, the Raiders, the Saints, and the Titans. That's the neighborhood the Bengals have lived in for the last 3 years.
Say it. That is.
But why
we're
have
used to
they
that
lived
neighborhood
there?
historically?
Well,
Don't you think and I get it that Burrow was healthy a couple years ago
Yes.
and they didn't make it. I get that. But for the most part, they've lived there because he's been hurt.
so
and he
this-
might be hurt again. I get that.
this
but
is
Can I
kind
make
of-
a counter argument to
Sure.
that? Because I was thinking that someone's going to say that, so I just pulled other stats just defensively. They lost to Detroit with Jake Browning 37-24. Like, they will put up points. The Flacco game, they lost to the Jets 39-38. The Bears game with Flacco, they lost 47-42. It's a defensive problem. They lost to the Bills with
why
Burrow
will that be different?
39-34.
They're losing their best defensive player.
Well,
They just got to get slightly, but don't give up 37.
that's all I'm
Give
saying.
up 31.
That's exactly right.
So this has again, I'm going to use a second time on the show, I'm going to reference a stupid meme. But
Charizard?
No, not Charizard. They are the trap house with the Bugatti in the driveway.
The
that
trap house
meme.
with-
They have this
that
amazing
is
quarterback and wide receivers, but the bones of their team, their coaching staff, their offensive line, and their defense are awful. And so I
If
just
it's a trap house. I think it's just like.
no, I think it's a trap house.
It is?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty confident in it. Fact
Pretty
check me on it. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in it.
Okay. Finally, the Lions, 9-8 last year. They're a trendy pick for worst to first. I might try to grab that real estate. Let's look at their non-division
They
opponents.
were worst.
They
weren't worst.
Yes, they were.
They
In their
finished behind
division?
Minnesota.
No.
That's fascinating. I'm fairly certain you're wrong.
What was I looking?
Third to first.
They
We'll
are
go with that, but not
trendy.
first to first.
From third to
course.
first.
Third to first.
Third.
Hold on, I was what?
Oh, you're right.
Tiebreaker.
I got.
Wait.
Wow.
They tied
Wow.
Minnesota?
How about that? We're Brew.
Just go to break. I thought I made an epic mistake. Turns out I nailed it. I looked it up and I saw the Lions. I was like, was I in the wrong year?
Nailed it.
I'm like, no, they were good.
I'm shocked. I
Wow.
didn't know they tied
Crushed
with
it.
Minnesota.
Wow, my bad.
Crushed it.
Jeez, call it jet
Let's
lag
go.
for me.
It was really a bad year.
I can't believe it. Now they say like I forgot about the Vikings.
Go ahead.
In any event,
Those were the teams they're playing. Go ahead.
yeah. What's their over/under? 10.5 this year.
With some hesitancy, I will go over. I think that, look, I'm just going to take a chance and think, okay, they'll be healthier on defense. Last 2 years, the defense hadn't been that healthy. I think they'll be healthier. The offense should still be great.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, I definitely still think he's a great coach. And I think, again, kind of like the Ravens, coming off a bad year in which you missed the playoffs, I think there's going to be a fire lit under them, and I think they're going to have a bounce back season.
Too big of a number. I'll go under. Doesn't mean they don't have a bounce back year. 10-7 be a bounce back year. 10-7 probably, it probably makes the playoffs. They have a ton of free agents on defense. They don't have a lot of cap space. I don't love the defensive personnel outside of Hutchinson, and all of a sudden, what had been their strength, their offensive line, no longer feels that way. I don't know that they've gotten offensive coordinator, solved post Ben Johnson, and so I like the slight under in pencil for the Detroit Lions.
Really? Okay.
You're over?
You're right. I'm at a strong over. I just don't.
Strong over. So what does that mean? You think they're going to win 13 games?
No, I
12 wins.
strongly think 11.
They're definitely winning 11.
Definitely winning 11.
Yeah.
I don't mean 14.
Right.
But I feel great about 11.
Okay,
I feel strong. I don't believe in these teams.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.